these are pretty much wore out. They have a box. And pretty much when somebody gets done with them, they throw them in this box. And these things are pretty much start out as about this big around. And it's kind of, this box is kind of like, I'm throwing it away, but yet I'm not technically throwing it away. Every once in a while I do go grab one of these, like I'm going to do like a small diameter hole, need some buff work, you know, one of these small ones is handy. But I admit that I stole something from work, but you know, I got three or so, I think 3 of these used ones that there's nobody's going to miss and probably wouldn't really care. And the fact is that there's probably 30 more of these in this box. But anyway, these things are expensive. I priced them on various sites, and they're about... I did find a place for $10 a piece, but for the most part, they look like about $20 a piece. Like, wow, that's just insane. But I don't think I'm going to need a, brand new ones. I think these right here will work just fine. I don't think it's going to take much to basically just put them in that, grinder and just go around, and I don't think it's going to make like unevenness, because I'm not, not sanding any material off, just taking that shine off. Yeah. I am using spray balm primer. That's one of the things about this is, like, if say you go buy a mixed, primer you gotta mix up, put in your gun, which is technically politically correct for doing this job. You're working on this area here, and you want to put primer on it to see, like a lot of times you do something, you kind of need to like primer over your puttied and against the other surface to see what you have. And to mix something up just to do that, and then you're throwing away and washing out your gun every single time, is a pain in the butt. I suppose maybe, go over and Bondo everything you can, and then go back and try to primer several areas at one time. But then at the same time, I'm going to have bare metal in this garage for maybe a whole week or two before I get it primered. I ended up getting to do a different hood from Pull Apart. Hoods for these I've kind of gotten to figuring out is they are rust buckets. Here's my original hood, and I thought it was in better shape than what it was. I thought it was just like rust bubbles. But turn out, man, this thing is rusted out. I mean, it's like crunchy and got holes there, and then the other side's even worse. Like this. Now the hood that I got, it had a dent right here in this body line area, and it took me quite a while to really get that to where it is. It's not perfect, but as good as I could get. That it was a dent clear across both of these creases. There was a rust hole in it right there, and there was a dent right here, and a couple other small dents. Like maybe it has some hail damage. I kind of worked them out. This thing here has got clear coat on it that's hard to do. It's like pieces of this car is real easy to get through, and then other pieces is just like it's like grinding diamonds. Here's the plan: is to get these pieces right here, fenders, the hood, the 2 bumpers, the trunk lid, and that spoiler is going to go in here and go through a painting session, get all these pieces done, and then we'll work on the car. But that's where we are so far, and we'll see how this little grinding wheels work on the bumper. Alright, I've been playing around with the Scotch-Brite buffer, and it's working great. It is. It's doing what I want it to do, but it's too rough. You can see here, it's kind of leaving these like periodic things. Now, I did go over here and put some primer down. I really don't like putting this primer on here, but it's like I'm trying to be as limited as possible putting this primer on, because it's like I'm just looking at it, it's going to be an orange peel spot. According to guys online, you could use this kind of stuff, an acrylic, or not, yeah, yeah, acrylic enamels. But you gotta wait like a week before you can put anything on it because it cures, so it doesn't lift or try to react with the other stuff. Now after I put 2 layers of primer on here, you can see the green through it some. It's not terrible, but you can see it. Now I'm just starting to get irritated with this project. I recommend anybody wanting to repaint their car, just get new bumper covers and make sure you get primed ones. You know, ones that's ready to paint. And just put them on the car, and these bumpers are just a headache. And it's like if they're not prepped right, the paint won't stay on them. I painted a car in the past and painted it white, and the paint was good on the car, but it started peeling off the bumper, and it was black underneath. And the car got nicknamed Cow because it had big peeled out spots of black. It's just, you know, I think as far as like Dad's car out here, you know, this whole project's just a practice run, you know, to paint his car. I could have cared less about this one. I just doing it just to make sure I do a good job on his. His back bumper, I think we could definitely get, you know, get it prepped. But we're gonna have to find another front bumper. He has too much damage, a lot of like gouging down along here. You know, well, his front bumper would be like this front bumper. But one of the issues that I'm seeing with this, and I'm trying to do something about trying to get down in here, and it just can't be done. And I even tried doing it by hand, and it's hit and miss. Maybe if somebody wanted to spend hours on end, you know, spend an entire weekend sanding on a damn bumper, sure. I like to note, you know, guys, this is just me working in my garage. This is not, you know, this isn't a how-to, this is how it's done kind of stuff, because it's not. I'm just trying to do the best I can and what knowledge I have of watching some of your guys' videos and just what I have done on my own in the past. But my recommendation, if you want a nice car done job, I mean, these bumpers are, I think this bumper here without the fog lights, which this one don't have, is like $100 with primer on it. It's like, it ain't worth your time. It ain't worth your time to mess with it. But this thing here, it's just gonna be a work beater. Pull my trailer around, come out here, car. Just one of the biggest things with this is also an experiment, is seeing if I can use that primer, and I make sure if it does work, I'll use that same primer on his car in places it needs it. But I should have grabbed the fine wheels. Is what I should have grabbed. As far as the durability of it, because all it's doing is just kind of going over the surface. But yeah, it's worth $20 to buy one, because it probably one wheel would do, you know, the things that I need. Because I haven't even touched that one, and I pretty much did about 80% of that. But I am going to do a little experiment here. I'm going to try to use that thing wet and see how it does. And put some water in that bucket and see if it does a better job wet. Alright, so I missed you guys on a lot of this project, but I got half the car painted. We got bumpers, the fenders, and the hood, trunk lid. Real nice finish on this stuff, but one of the things that I've learned from this is that, one, I need to get my water tower finished so I can get water on this floor to paint, because I ended up getting debris and up into the, you know, on stuff. I even went around and I swept this out, blew it out, blew all the pieces out, you know, with the air hose, and still got stuff blown around and landing on it. Also, I made another mistake. The base coat wasn't completely dry, and I opened the door just because it was just getting overwhelming in here. Even with these fans, in the ceiling there was a cloud in here. It wasn't so bad to where like I didn't have anything coming back down and landing on it, like overspray. But it just, that and my respirator that I got, it's not very good. I had a spider lower itself from the ceiling and land on a fender. The other thing I learned was, of course, those buffer wheels that I was messing around with. I gotta have a fine, use a fine one and not. You can see a little bit in this fender, right there. Using the acrylic or enamel primer. I didn't have any orange peeling from that. I did see some orange peel spots, and I even, before I painted all this stuff, I washed it down twice with alcohol to try to get rid of any fingerprints and oils and stuff like that is on it. And I did get a couple spots, little like dots of orange peel. But doing something like this in your garage, for what I got here, doing it in a garage, it's not a paint shop. I think it's pretty decent, but there is some things I can do to improve on the matter. Like one is like making sure that on the day that I go to paint it, the door has been closed. It hasn't been open at all. Just because, like, the lights, even though it's daytime, will attract stuff in here, and then they're attracted to the paint once you start doing that. But as a practice car, I didn't go into as much detail as I should have anyways, knowing I didn't get into as much detail as I should have with some of the body work. But I think it turned out pretty good for a practice run, and I did learn some things from it. But for those of you interested in painting a car, here's the paint, the brand of paint that I used, and the clear coat. And as far as, here's the primer I used. It's from the Dollar General. This is the primer I used. So these two paints are compatible with each other. Just leave this on for a week. When you primer something with this, I waited a week, just like other guys suggested, and I had no trouble at all with orange peel from this stuff reactivating and lifting. I didn't have that at all. So, but I had to get the rest of the car in here and store this stuff somewhere, and I can finish the rest of it and put this stuff on there. Well, alright, it's the next weekend, and it's the painting day, and it's raining, cloudy, so that means it's humid, and it's not hot. It's only like 72 degrees. It's pretty humid though. And since my garage runs on solar, that means that I'm strictly going to be running off of batteries. Not going to be getting any solar energy. So right now I'm trying to do whatever I need to do in here to get this thing rolling with just 2 light bulbs. So I'm trying to conserve power until I got to turn everything on. Alright, so here's, I got the floor all wet, as wet as I can get it, with gallons of water. And I got it underneath the car with the sprayer. Got these shop lights in here and the lights overhead, so you can kind of see what I got for light. This is going to work great. But the generator cannot run the lights and the air compressor. It can only run the air compressor. So it's kind of a little joint venture here with the generator and the solar. But I figure when I take breaks, I can just flip the main while I'm mixing paint or anything like that. So that way I can, conserve power and that. And alright, I got the base coat on it. And stuff came down into paint again. Some of the stuff I dug out of it. I think there was one big little ball of styrofoam from the ceiling came down. Another spider. Spiders seem to crawl out of the cracks to get to this paint. What is it? Insects and their fascination with this paint. A dent right there, which I did try to get that out. I filled it and sanded it, and it never did blend. It just took it off. Took all the Bondo off of it. So when I was sanding it, it was such a small dent that I couldn't really. It's 4 coats of paint on it, a base coat. So I don't know. Hopefully, it's enough paint on there. Looks like I got a little bit of drying to do yet before I can put clear coat on it. Pretty much, you see the transitions like right there. That's still wet. It just needs to be dry, not like sitting for hours or anything. It just dry. All right, I'll get the clear coat on there. All right, got the clear coat on it, and yeah, once again, I got some stuff in the paint. Where you can see it right there, stuff. And I got some orange peel. I don't think that's orange peel, that's stuff in the paint, but I got orange peel up here. Orange peel. And it's got some runs in it. I didn't get runs until the last session of clear coat. I think that I should have waited a little longer. To put the last coat on it. But there is a run right there. See it right there. Gotta run. I probably won't. I probably ain't gonna fix them on this thing. But when I do Dad's cars, maybe later in the year, so it'll be drier, won't be so humid. And it didn't help. It was already humid, and I had to put water on the floor. The water on the floor kind of beat me up a little bit too, because the hose would get in it, and then when I go to do the roof, water would drip off. Even though I was holding the hose away from the car, the hose would drip down on it. But first paint job in, I'm gonna say your first paint job in 18 years, you might want to call it. The last time, it was about 18 years ago I was messing around with this. So let's check the batteries real quick before we call this a video. Video is probably forever long. The sun ended up coming out. Yeah, we're at 12.4. Sometimes they lie to you a little bit, because you'll get the voltage from the panels. You'll get the voltage out the panels, but in reality the batteries just ran down some. But well, that's all I got for today. Catch you guys later. Alright guys, here it is all assembled. Well, except for the interior. But looks a lot better altogether. You don't notice the mistakes as much because you got more car there to look at rather than just one little piece here. But I think it's pretty decent. It's doable. Still working on the emblems. I got the front one on the grill, but working on this. This one here has a little cover that goes on there. I'll show you. Got it spray painted. It was like gold looking, but it looked like crap, so I just painted it, and the chrome looked okay on the little back plate. But yeah, there it is. Mistakes and all. This was done with one of those $14.99 Harbor Freight guns. So, no matter who's going to do it, it's only going to get so good anyways with that gun. Alright, guess I'll catch you guys later.